welcome back to my channel. Sorry it's been so long since I've uploaded. We had a sudden death in the family, which I'll go into in another video, and just crazy stuff happening this summer, but I'm finally back right now, and I'm just gonna get right into this video since it's been so long. This one, though, I will warn you, is pretty triggering and horrendous and a little graphic, which I'm not gonna go totally into the horrible graphic details, but I am going to explain the story and what happened, just because I think it's important, you know, as horrible as this stuff is, that we talk about it. Just this case intrigued me because of A, the fact that it even happens in our world is just crazy, and B, just there's a crazy plot twist in it. And like I said, as horrible as it is, I think we do need to talk about these things and bring awareness to the fact that this stuff really does happen in our world. It's just crazy. But like I said, I'm gonna get into it. If this stuff triggers you, or you don't do well with like child abuse or murder or cases like this, definitely come back tomorrow. I'll have a more lighthearted video for you guys. But let's get right into it. So this is the Kurim case, Kurim. If you know for a fact that I'm saying this wrong, please let me know in the comments, but for right now I'm just going to call it the Kurim case. This case happened in a small town called Kurim in the Czech Republic in 2007. Excuse me. New dad Edward T had installed a baby monitor in his nursery. He was a new dad, and it was one of those really nice like 4K video baby monitors. But after he installed it, when he was checking onto it, there was a malfunction. Instead of seeing into his nursery, the feed was actually coming from a monitor from the neighbor's house, which he assumed, and it was showing two young boys completely covered in filth and chained up in a cellar. Ed had seen that one of the boys was naked and his hands were restrained behind his back. Ed honestly thought at first that he was like picking up something horrible from the internet, like dark web, deep web stuff, or that he was just hallucinating because of lack of sleep because he was a new parent. He just couldn't believe it was real, and neither could I after reading this stuff. But moments later, after realizing this really was real, and most likely his neighbor, he called the police. Police quickly showed up to the neighbor's house. At the neighbor's house was two women, Clara and Katerina Murnova. The boys on the feed were Clara's sons. There was also a third child found, a 13-year-old adopted daughter of Clara's. The little girl, instantly ran into the arms of the police officer, just sobbing and explaining all the horrible abuse she had been going through. She directed the police to the boys down in the cellar. The boys had horrific wounds and were instantly taken to the hospital. Sadly, one of the boys did die in the hospital, and while they were there, and trigger warning, just to warn you, this gets a little graphic, the doctors realized and saw on him that his wounds were from, assumably, the two women or some kind of adults actually skinning him. And after an autopsy was done and they looked inside his stomach, they came to the conclusion that he was actually being fed pieces of his skin, and probably his brother too. Just horrible. So Katerina would take their daughter, well, the daughter, I guess, Clara's daughter, Anna was her name, to this doctor constantly, at least like once a week. Because apparently Anna had a ton of medical issues and even had leukemia. So the doctor would prescribe weird things, such as instructing Clara to rub and massage Anna's body for at least an hour a day, and this included her groin area, especially her groin area. So obviously this doctor is just a quack. So Clara said that she had never met this doctor, that only Katerina was the one to take her to her appointments because Clara just couldn't handle the issues, I guess. There's different reports on why she didn't go, but yeah, she never went to this doctor. When Clara finally wanted to pursue the adoption of, I don't think I said that. So Clara had adopted Anna after rescuing her from a sex trafficking ring. So she somehow came across this little girl, found out what she was going through, and adopted her, kind of rescued her in a way. When Clara wanted to pursue the adoption of Anna, this doctor told her that her sons were being abusive towards Anna, and that Clara needed to find. So Anna had told this doctor, because she had started seeing her before the adoption process when she was just living with them. And apparently Anna had told the doctor that those two little boys were sexually abusing her, and that the doctor said that Clara needed to first cure the boys and get rid of the evil spirits that were inhabiting them by therapy. Sorry, it's been a long time since I filmed. By therapy of hard discipline and physical punishment, saying that she needed to get this done before they went through with the adoption of Anna. So this guy's just a wackadoodle. So here's some more things about what went on with the boys. So Clara would simulate drowning them and even waterboard them. The boys were burned with cigarettes, scratched with forks and knives, told to repeat and memorize vulgar sentences and words, stuff like that. They never went to school. They were even forced to beat up and fight each other. And one boy was even forced to play dead and lay in a hole that was dug in the backyard for 24 hours. So this was all the punishment and therapy that Clara did in order to get rid of the evil spirits that were in the boys. Here's where it gets even crazier. When the cops questioned Clara and Katerina, they said that the 13-year-old adopted daughter Anna was the mastermind behind all of the abuse to the boys. Not only was she the one who said that the boys were abusing her, but it was her idea, and she came up with all the therapy that the boys should go through. Okay, well, does that sound crazy? It gets even crazier. A little bit later, when the cops questioned Anna about all of this, they found out that this 13-year-old girl was actually a 33-year-old lady named Babora. How insane is that? So, this 13-year-old girl that they thought was a girl that they adopted, their little daughter, was actually a 33-year-old woman. And she really was the mastermind behind all this. She was telling them what to do and forcing them to do this because the boys were abusing her. It's insane. And it's nuts. There's pictures online, I guess, of this lady, and she really does look young. I saw one. But how in how? That is just crazy. So Clara said that Babora slowly started What? So after the cops found this out and all this just crazy stuff started coming out of the woodworks, the police started to realize that there were more people involved in this, and this was some kind of sick cult with the other couple that was torturing the boys, Babora, the 33-year-old, 13-year-old, and just that this was some kind of crazy thing. It was later suspected that Babora's father may have been the actual mastermind of all of this, and that he was the doctor that was doing all that crazy therapy. Babora's father was the doctor. And so him and her got into this family and just started. It's crazy. This man's name was Joseph, and he was the head of the group called the Ants, a group that started this strange thing called the Grail movement, which I'll pop up on screen more of what that is. I didn't research it too much, but I'll pop that up. So sadly, police believe that with such an elaborate amount, and because there was other cameras found throughout the house, and the quality of all the cameras and the baby monitor recorders and webcams and everything that were set up in the cellar and throughout the house, that they think that these were actually broadcasting the abuse so that it went even deeper to where this was something that was going on the dark, deep web, that they were broadcasting this for other people, or at least other people in this group, the Ants. So, Anna said that she was in this sex trafficking ring and needed help when actually she was in it, but she was part of it. Not only did I want to cover this case for the sake of those two boys and share their story and what they went through, but to bring awareness of the aftermath and what happened next. You know, everything they went through, that was disgusting and tragic. But what happened next to me just made me sick to my stomach, and I find almost even more disgusting. So Joseph somehow escaped. He was never and still has never been found. All the others that were involved, however, though, Clara, Katerina, the other couple, and Babora, were all found guilty and sentenced, which is great. But all of them have already sat out their sentences and now live free. All of them were released in 2012 and 2013. It's insane. So they're already done. They're already living free. All of those horrific crimes that they committed, they only got 5 to 6 years. And probably even less than that because they, you sit it out while you're going through court and everything. Yeah, that's all they got for what they did to those poor little boys and this whole disgusting sex trafficking ring. How do sex traffickers only get 5 years? I get that it's the Czech Republic, which I'm going to talk about in a second, but how is that justice? So this part right here, this is all alleged. Please don't sue me. I have no disrespect for the Czech Republic. This is just what I read. But it has been found that a few child sex trafficking rings in the Czech Republic had been working with the police and the government there. That's been found out. There were different cases where they had actually been working with the police and the government. And also, it said that this might be a source of income for their country. Again, this is alleged. Don't sue me. But like I said, it was found out that police and government were involved in a couple of these cases. And sadly, that might be why all these people only got 5 to 6 years imprisonment. So, I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think justice was served for these poor little boys? Can you believe that this actually happens around here? I mean, on our earth. I hope it doesn't go to this extremes in the US, but it probably does. And like I said, as horrible as this is, I think we need to talk about it and bring awareness to this. So, yeah. I'm sorry this was so dark, but I figured we need to talk about it. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think. Give me a thumbs up if you do want me to do more true crime, and I promise it'll be a little bit lighter than these, or I've even been thinking about doing some unsolved or some paranormal, creepy kind of videos, so just let me know what you guys think. It feels good to be back, and tomorrow will be a much lighter, more fun, uplifting, hopefully, video, so I will see you guys then, and until then, stay creative, and I'll see you in the next one.